And here we are again. Another... What was with your face? Right, I am Ben Field.
Hostis, yeah. I'm Mike Parkinson.
And I'm Jamie Anderson.
Oh, well done, everybody. We've made it through our names without getting anything wrong. Congratulations. Today is going to be a good day. And why is today a good day?
Well, I noticed how joyful we all are despite a challenging post-interview chat from Monty Don last time.
Yep.
So, I mean, Ben or Mike, do you want to summarise how Monty felt and then perhaps how that has led to some changes for this one?
Well, I suppose the summary about Monty was that when you go, it was quite chastening because it was quite difficult to absorb everything he was saying, but he was saying it in a very eloquent manner. But actually going away myself and thinking about it, I think the actual headline was essentially what he was saying was AI Parky is not like being interviewed by a human interviewer. Well, that's unfortunately he's not a human interviewer. So therefore, not the criticism, but the observations are essentially, yes, you're correct, but it doesn't really take us any further down the track of what we're attempting to do with AI Parky.
However, so I went away from that and I listened to what he actually said with the issues and obviously the podcast has now been released and we're getting feedback from the audience and largely all of the things have been pointing in the same direction about it whether or not it feels natural and feels human and so I've tweaked the model quite a lot. So basically what I've done is I've kind of rewritten it sort of from scratch. Right. So I've taken where we were before, and I've streamlined all of it to make sure that the model doesn't get confused or Actually, what tended to happen is every time we thought of a new idea, we'd put something else in the model without actually taking something else out.
Yeah.
And we hadn't noticed that there were some duplications and all the rest of it, which of course confused poor AI Parky. There was some, didn't know who he was
There
anymore.
were some conflicting statements in there, which I think when we were looking for light and shade, we actually had kind of cancelled that out earlier on.
We got him confused.
So it's programmable schizophrenia.
Yes, or whatever that word was you said.
Not programmable.
Brilliant. So that's good. So the model that we have today, I've done some sort of dry runs at home, and I mean they're very interesting. They're quite different to the ones before, and I'm very excited to be able to try that out today with our guest today, who is
Jill Scott.
Very good. Yes. And how much do you know about Jill Scott, Jamie?
Not a huge amount. I mean, football, and she co-owns a cafe. I know both of those things.
Because you're a massive football fan, aren't you?
More of a fan of cafes, to be honest.
Called Box to Box.
Box to Box.
Box to Box, as that was her style of football.
There you go.
She was part of the Lionesses in 2022 that finally brought football home.
Well done.
Thank you.
She was. That's the whole point. But the interesting, I think, about Jill Scott, as in all very, very talented and successful sports people, is that they are still young. And the vast majority of their productive life is still ahead of them.
Yes.
And what's very interesting is that they've had this extraordinary success, amazing kind of like pinnacles, and you wonder how they fill the void that must be left by football and where they go to next, which is interesting, isn't it? Because up until now, I might be correct, but it's interesting people have interviewed is that they've kind of had this established career in one particular area. She's just forming a new career. And in a sense, trying to reinvent herself for what she's going to do for the rest of her life.
I'm very interested to see, what she talks about today when we talk, because I'm sure there'll be some advocacy work in there, and and I think that's really important. So yeah, I'm very interested to see where this goes. I'm
very interested to see how AI Parky behaves after all these new things that you've taught him.
That's true, because it is largely untried and untested again. It's a little bit like going back to the Jason Derulo one where I go, oh God, I've no idea what's going to happen. I really hope I haven't messed this up.
Marvellous.
Yeah, great. Well, okay, well, let's get Jill in and let's have a chat with Jill and see what she thinks about AI in general.
Excellent.
Fingers crossed.